I'm not sure if it's on right now. That's unfortunate also. This might be on right now, and I might be talking to myself. Oh! Congratulations! The camera is on. So I've just been talking for a couple of seconds, and I want to let you know. Tip of the day. So, yeah. Alright. This is Adam from Robot King Studios. While I was working on these Slaanesh models, I thought I would talk about removing flash. Now, these nice new plastic models don't have a lot, but if you get yourself one of these, if you can see that, that's a number 16 all-purpose blade. It's also considered a modeling blade. It's very, very sharp, but because of the way it's angled there, it'll allow you to pull off your flash without actually having to go back. You know, you want to pull it off away. Now you can very lightly come across like that, but you want to be kind of careful about doing that, and always be mindful of your hands. Hold everything tight. Don't push towards yourself too much. You see, just a little bit towards yourself, but try and move away from yourself. And if you just really lightly like that drag it across, you'll get a nice smooth edge without having to worry about digging or grinding in. So if you're gonna go ahead and pick up something, I mean, some people use files, I know that, but some of us like to just use an x-acto knife or a blade. And this is what I use to clean up models. The number 16 blade, unlike the standard 11, is nice and sharp, and you can clean things up really easy without a lot of work or force. And if you get really small areas of just excess where it was attached to the screw, or really, really fine lines of flash, like you'll find even on the heads, you just find where your flash is, and then just pull it off. Really, really gentle. And you don't actually have to work all that hard. You just apply a little bit of force, and make sure not to stab yourself or pull anything off that you want. And if you're working on an angular piece like a horn or a leg, go ahead and work around its angular portions and clean up what you need. So that right there, as you can see, is the number 16 blade. It's dip angle. It doesn't have a front blade. It's just a little tiny end there. It's very nice. And you can clean up your flash really clean and easy. You know, sometimes, that one got a little break in it. Don't worry about that. You just gently push it back into its place. And if you put a little glue over top, that'll reinforce the plastic. But, things like that happen. And just check out your model. You find a flash line, and just drag ever so slightly. And on a textured piece like this, you want to drag in two directions and use almost no force whatsoever. Don't forget horns, legs, things like that. Go ahead and work with the curve. That way you don't end up with a flat spot on an otherwise curved object. And that's just a nice way to remove flash without having to worry about file lines or overly flat areas. Now, I already cleaned up all of these daemonettes and seekers and everything. I clean them up before I put them together. But, you know, the same principles apply to everything, like the little bit of flash that's on the sides of the legs and torsos where the seams come together. You just gently remove it. Rub it off a little, you know. And that's all you need to do, really. You don't have to work too hard at it. You don't have to, you know, scrape away for your life. You don't have to gouge in. You'll save your fingers, too. It works just as well for metal models. You actually will notice these are the older metal daemonettes here. But you go ahead, you find extra bits on them, and just lightly remove it. Find an extra bit, and you lightly scrape away at a slight angle. Next thing you know, that piece is clean as a whistle. Occasionally I'll wipe it off on either my finger or my table. But while you're doing that, you'll clean your model up and you'll keep your blade clean. The metal models, these older ones, didn't really have a lot of flash anyway, or even a lot of extra bits, but they had little tiny bits, and sometimes little things like that. Just go ahead, these little tiny motions with actual pushing, and the rest of it, clean it up with this kind of scraping back. Alright? Now, there's a lot of people out there who don't need this advice. Some of the newer modelers, though, may not know how well to remove it. And you'll see a lot of people use clippers and things to pull the pieces apart, and they'll show you that in their videos where they're assembling things, but sometimes you don't get the advantage of watching someone remove excess bits and how to best to do it. So, just find what you need, and sometimes you do have to use a little actual cutting motion, but very rarely. Very rarely. Sometimes when you're speed clipping things out, you will go ahead and you'll have those excess screw bits where it was attached to the screw, where it was molded, and you just remove them as gently as you possibly can. Now, you need patience, of course. This hobby is not for the impatient. But then again, if you are impatient, this will be a good exercise in getting back some patience, or building up some patience, I should say. Because as you're moving flash while you're painting, you get a little exercise in patience. It's nice. I'm actually a pretty impatient guy, except when I'm sitting here with these models. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy who, you know, you're waiting in line at a restaurant or something, you know, fast food place, and if they don't come get you in like 10 minutes, if they don't serve you in 10 minutes, I'm probably going to start yelling at someone and be like, come on! But, you know. So, it's exercise of love. Exercise of love. Not yelling at people because they take too long, but, you know, gently removing flash from your models. Makes them look just that much nicer. And like I said, you know, obviously this isn't for veteran modelers as much as it's for newer people, or maybe this could just be an alternative if you've been using a file for a while and you want to try and use something to get a nice smoother finish. Yeah, you know, that's what I have to say right now. So this is Adam from Robot King Studios. Just a little quick tidbit. You have yourself a fine day.